Children, now let us do some activities. How the chemical coordination is going to happen in a plant cell. So first what we have to do means we have to take a glass jar and fill it with soil, and we have to sow the bean seed. So water it and keep it for 3 to 4 days so that we can observe the germination of seed. Germination of a seed we can observe. So now we have to observe which part is growing in above and in the soil. So now we can see here the root, it is growing towards the soil, and the stem portion it grows above the soil. So now here we are observing how that process of growing stem above the ground and root growing in the soil is happening. So now what we have to do, so this plant we are going to keep it in sunlight. Then we are observing the germination of a seed. So now we have to bend this and if we observe, we can see then also the stem portion whichever is growing above the towards the light, that we can observe. So now here the type of movements which are which are observed in plants towards the stimuli, so that we are going to discuss in this class. So stem portion is growing above the ground towards light, and the root portion is growing towards the soil. Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin conducted several experiments on movements, how they are happening in plants. So what they have done means the oat plant tip of the stem it is taken, the oat plant is taken and it is covered with silver foil, and the movement of direction how the plant portion is growing it was observed. So what they have observed, when it is covered with silver foil, the direction of growth towards light it was not same. So when light was passed on that, so fast growth rate is observed in this. So that is because of some chemical, some influence is there. So they said that some chemical influence is making that plant part to grow towards light. So that was given by Charles Darwin. So in 1926, F.W. Wendt has given the clear information about the chemicals, how they are going to influence the plants to grow in a particular direction. So what he has done, so he also used the oat plant for his experiment, and the tip of the oat plant is cut. So here the tip means here the stem portion was cut, and on the cut portion of the coleoptile tip he kept the tip of the coleoptile stem on the agar block. So then what he has done that so this is agar block. So on that the tip whichever was cut from the oat plant was kept for a few hours, and the experiment was done in the dark, and after few hours that tip of coleoptile it was removed, and the agar block was kept on the cut portion of the coleoptile stem. So what he has observed, so when it was kept there like this, so he observed the movement towards the, so the bending of coleoptile tip was observed? Is it clear to children? So that is because of a chemical influence. So that influence was named by F.W. Wendt as a auxin. And that auxin is going to help in promoting growth. Promotes growth in a plant. So here the chemical influence is helping in giving direction to move the plant in that particular direction. The above experiments are going to make you to understand about how the individual plant parts are going to show response to the external stimuli. So that type of response to the external stimuli in plants, we call it as a tropism. Tropism. Here the tropism or trophic movements. Sometimes the direction of movement is going to show response to the. Sometimes the direction of the stimuli determines the direction of the movement, or sometimes the direction of movement may not determine the direction of the stimuli. So such type of responses are called as a thigmotropism. That type of movements what we are observing in plants is called as a nastic movements. What you are understanding, that external stimuli, it determines the movement of direction, or sometimes the movement of direction in plant pots is not because of external stimuli. So that type, whatever we are observing movements in plants are called as a nastic movements. So some nastic movements in the plants we are going to learn now. You know that different types of stimuli are going to show response to the response of different parts in plants. So if we take light, so in the previous activity, light, how it is determining the movement of plant parts. So that light, if it is stimuli where the plant parts are moving towards light, so that one we call it as a phototropism. Phototropism. So these are nastic movements in plants. So here next one, if we take geotropism. So what does it mean? Gravity. Gravity is the stimuli. Gravity is the stimuli, and towards gravity the plant parts are growing. You know that the roots grow towards soil and the stem portion grows above the ground. So here roots are growing towards soil, so towards ground, so that one we call it as a positively geotropism, and stem is growing above the soil, so it is a negatively geotropism. So here gravity is the stimuli where the roots and stem are growing in opposite directions. Then in weak stemmed plants like creepers or climbers, as they are very weak, they cannot grow erect or they cannot grow straight, so they need some support for growing. So that support, whatever it is there, it is happening because of tendrils. So tendrils are the plant parts in which we are observing in weak stemmed plants like bitter gourd or ridge gourd or other plants. So the twining structures which we are observing near the leaves, so these are taking support from the giving support to the plant by entwining on the other plant. So that type of response to the stimuli whichever is exhibited is called as a thigmotropism. Thigmotropism. So here this tendril is giving support other than this plant parts. Is it clear to children? So it gives support to grow that plant. Then you are all observed that the water is given to the plant pots. So in the soil we are giving water, and the roots whichever are growing, all these are moving towards the source of water. So water is said to be here the stimuli, the growth of roots towards water. So that one we call it as a hydrotropism. Water. So the roots are moving towards water. So that one we call it as a hydrotropism. Another important character we are observing in plants, that is chemicals. Chemicals which are produced by the plants are helping in attracting. So that one we call it as a chemotropism. Chemotropism. So in what way that chemotropism we are observing? You know that flower. So this is a female reproductive part, stigma, style, ovary, and the pollen grain will fall on the stigma. How it is happening means the stigma is going to secrete a chemical that is sticky in nature, which attracts this pollen grain. So this pollen grain is going to develop the tube, and the nuclei, male nuclei which are present, they are going to reach the carpel or ovary where the process of fertilization is going to happen. So that is because of chemicals. So here chemicals are stimuli where the process of fertilization is going to happen in plants. So that one we call it as a chemotropism. One point we have to remember here, unequal concentration of auxins. They are going to show effect on the growth of stem as well as root. So more and more concentration of auxins if we are spraying, that inhibits the growth of stem. So proper growth we can observe, and the lesser auxin spray is going to stop the growth in the roots. So these are all commercially, all the plant growth substances are nowadays used commercially to get good economic value. In this chapter, coordination, the linking system, we learned about how the coordination is brought in plants and in animals, especially in human beings. How the coordination is brought means that is because of nervous coordination and chemical coordination, that is endocrine system. In detail we discussed, and in plants how the coordination is going to happen, chemical coordination by different plant growth substances we have discussed.